Hello world. Today I'm going to give Mr. Albert Einstein the answer that he was looking for his equation, which is a unified theory or a God equation or equation of everything. So we're going to go ahead and start today, and I will give my conclusion once I'm done. So today, that's the point of uploading the video, is to give Mr. Albert Einstein his answer to this equation. So let's start. We're going to start with his equation, which is E equals mc squared, which I like this equation because it's simplified and it gets right to the point. But it does have some issues once it goes beyond a certain point. It times out. So it is some flaws I see in the equation, so we're going to see if we can bring it up to date. So one issue I do see with the equation is that Mr. Einstein, he put mass on the same line with the speed of light, which you can't do that because light will always dominate mass. So the equation should be E equals light over mass, and with the speed of light, you can't square the light because it's always the same for all of us, the speed of light coming into Earth is always the 299 dot, but whatever the speed is. So you can't put that on the same line with mass because it would always dominate mass. Now you can square mass if you would want to. So this would really be how the equation should be as far as a format for the equation. But it actually can go further than that. So as far as with this, we can actually go a little bit further. With E equals, with light, C being for light, that's really technically wrong because the speed of light, if we were at the delivery point of light, it will actually exceed 299 dot because the photon packets that are sent from the sun, the handoff time will be so quick that with our spectrum of light, it would exceed our spectrum of light. We wouldn't be able to see it. It would almost be equivalent to if I handed a letter to a postmaster and it takes 3 to 5 days or 8 days to get to the person, it would be equivalent to me saying that, or to the person saying that the delivery time was slow for me, but actually the delivery time is quicker. It takes you 8 days to receive it or 8 minutes to receive it, but it takes for the delivery time of the photon packet to be sent off is so quick that it would exceed our light spectrum. So the actual speed would actually be so fast, we would have to put it into a number because numbers are quicker than letters. Because numbers, that would be the only way to calculate the actual speed. So if we had to put a number to it, it would be so great. Let's just put, say, for example, 12 zeros. It would be a Google number. It would be so large that we wouldn't be able to even calculate. So as far as the mass of the if we had to calculate a mass with the speed of light, it would be a mass so large that it would be huge, humongous as well, because it's so much mass on Earth that it's always a different size. So it would be a size so large that we wouldn't be able to calculate. So if we had to calculate mass on Earth, it would be a number greater than, let's say, it would be a Google number as well. So it would be a number so large, it would be any number from 0.00001 all the way up to whatever the most massive number that you can think of. So the equation for everything would be, really, you can leave it as this, but it's so large. So if we had to calculate, or on Earth, if we had to do this every time, it would be too much. It would be too technical to just think about. So if God would put an equation in place, it would have to be as quick as light. So it would have to be an equation that would be able to be so quick and perform that you won't have to think about it. It would just do it. So we can consolidate that down to E equals 0.00 or 0.01, because it would be any number, any light number, say, for example, any hydrogen or helium, any mass that's less than zero that we equate to light, and then any massive number from Earth, any number from the smallest particle on Earth that we can observe, it would be any number from 0.01 greater. So we can actually consolidate this down even further. So the equation for everything here on Earth would be E equals 0/1, which this stabilizes infinity. This is the only way you can stabilize infinity, and this is what we have to work with here on Earth. We can't go any further than this, because the lightest particle will always dominate mass. No matter what mass you would create or any spectrum of light, it would always dominate the mass, because any object here on Earth would always have light around it. It would be lighter around it, or the space around it. So this is what we have to work with here on Earth. This is the theory of everything, or this is the equation of everything. You still can have E equals mc squared. You can still have your standard model. You still can have your Schrodinger equations, because most of those equations, they time out anyway. So you have to stabilize infinity to be able to be observed here on Earth. And this is the equation we have here on Earth. So all of those equations, even the string theory, if you zoom in on a particle, it will be a string, but around the screen is always light. It doesn't define anything with the string theory. It only just, it shows you would still need the string theory to define particles here on Earth. So, I mean, the string theory still would be okay, but it doesn't show you or define how the creator or God would look at it. It's just the screen theory just shows it just shows the particles. I mean, any particle that you would locate is going to be subject to this equation here. So this is the final equation, and it feeds any other equation. This is just like a what we would call a it's like a, I guess it's kind of hard to say. It would be a definition for anything here on Earth, or it would be it feeds all the other equations. So even with gravity, any object as far as gravity would be here, because gravity is always falling and we're always falling. Technically, nothing here weighs anything, but the ground is what holds the mass here, and we're always here, but light is always dominating us no matter where we are. And this is the equation that is used to define anything here on Earth, and this is what we have to work with. It's no other way around it. And this is what Mr. Albert Einstein was looking for all of those years. He couldn't locate it, and it was right in his equation, but sometimes you can be looking at the solution when it's right around the problem as well. But if I may have to make another video if we have to go even further into this, but this is the equation of everything. E equals 0 or 1, but it's always surrounded by it's light always surrounds everything if you can view it. But that's my video for today, and thank you for viewing.